Welcome to the first episode of Science 8. I am teacher Richard and I will try to explain the content of your module in a simpler way. So our topic for this episode is about the Newton's 3 laws of motion. This is based from the most essential learning competency, which is infer that when a body exerts a force on another, an equal amount of force is exerted back on it. After this lesson, you should be able to first explain the 3 laws of motion and then solve for the acceleration of an object. What are the 3 laws of motion? So Sir Isaac Newton made these 3 laws of motion, which includes the law of inertia, law of acceleration, and law of interaction. Now, the first law of motion, which is law of inertia, states that an object at rest remains at rest, and an object in motion will continue to move at constant velocity unless acted upon by a net force. Now, let's take a look at this video at the other side of this presentation. You can see that the car is moving, then biglang nag-stop suna as it bumps or as it hit this brick wall. So, nangyari, datoy kotse and DJ person nga dadyo unig ti kotse is considered as one object, and both of them are moving at the same speed. So edi nadungpar na datoy brick wall. What happened is that ni tao timayok no kwa. It is because the man there riding on that car is moving with the same rate kadetang kotse, and edi na-hit ni kotse datoy brick wall. Ang nangyari is that dina-stop lang ket ni kotse, and since ni human ket hamit nga na-stop, so it will continue to move forward. So nga nagpasango suna, edi na-hit na ni atoy brick wall. And mass is a measure of the inertia of an object. The greater the mass of an object, the harder it is to move when it is at rest, or difficult to stop when in motion. So in order for you to stop a certain or a moving object, narigrigat nga pasadingan di may isang object no nadagdag sensuna. For example, di kotse, if you try to stop a running DJ kotse nga dumaldalan, then sigurado nga narigrigat talaga nga pasadingan, because the car is heavier or it has greater mass than you, unless you are Superman who could do that. So the greater the mass, the harder for it to move or for it to stop. Narigrigat mo nga pasadingan. So it continues to move forward. Second law of motion, which is law of acceleration, states that the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on it and is inversely proportional to the object's mass. The direction of the acceleration is in the direction of the net force acting on an object. To simplify the statement, so we have here the formula: the summation of net force is equal to the mass times the acceleration of the object. Ibagbaga na lang natin law of acceleration is that nangat nga to ni mass, nangat nga to met the summation of force nga i-apply mo no ka for an object to move, or nangat nga to the acceleration ni may isang object, meaning nangat nga to met to ka DJ force nga na-i-apply ka DJ nga object. For example, let's take a look at the image here. In here, dati mass dati may isa to dakil is 400 kilograms, and you look at the person pushing that stone or that circle, marigatan suna. So in order for that person nga mapagkuti na dito yung object, dito 400 kilograms nga object, it must exert enough force or dakkilamet ng force. Unlike kadaytoy may sad toy basbasit DJ or nalaglag ang DJ circle nga idurduron na, therefore less met DJ force nga i-apply na nako. So dito kita nga sa law of acceleration. So the amount of force is directly proportional to the mass and the acceleration of the object. So no nadagdag sa ni mass na automatic force nga apply mo or no kahit mga papaspasan DJ may isang object, you have to apply more force. Or no basbasit met DJ mass DJ object, basbasit met of course DJ force nga i-apply mo ka DJ object. Or no basbasit met DJ acceleration na DJ may isang object, then therefore less force met i-apply mo to that object. So by the way, force there, the summation of F with arrow stands for force, the small m stands for mass, and the A there with an arrow is the acceleration. By the way, those arrow represents the direction of the force. Now let's take a look at this sample problem. So let me read the sample problem here. A 1,000 kilogram truck is traveling at an acceleration of 4.5 meters per second square, going to the east. Find the net force needed to accelerate the truck. So first you have to identify the given, which is the acceleration is equal to 4.5 meters per second square due east. The mass of the object is 1,000 kilograms, and you have to find the net force. So take note that the formula for acceleration, or the formula that you have to use, is this one. Summation of force is equal to the mass times the acceleration of the object. So all you have to do is substitute the value of m, which is 1,000 kilogram, and the value of a, or the acceleration, is 4.5 meters per second square due east. Now you have to multiply those and you will get 4,500 kilogram meters per second square, or 4,500 newtons is. Take note, ni force ket adati direction na. So no the arrow na dijay, you have to indicate the direction of the force. Since is ko na dijay problem, then due is no kwa dijay object. So it will move going to the east. Now I have here, if you notice meron triangle dito. This is the simplified version of identifying the formula of acceleration of a mass or of a force in a certain problem. Kasi sometimes, hindi lang force yung hinahanap in a certain problem, but hinahanap din yung acceleration or mass. So, all you have to do is memorize this one, or just try to recall or internalize this figure. So in order for you to get the force, you have to multiply acceleration times the mass. Ito yung ginawa natin. That's in identifying the force, net force. If you want to find the acceleration, you have to divide force, divide it by the mass. And to get the mass, you have to divide force to the acceleration. Take note that the unit for force is Newton, the capital N there. Acceleration is meters per second square, and the unit for mass is in kilograms. Now last is the law of interaction. It states that for every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. So if you try to push the wall will also try to push you at the opposite direction. Or this gift here, the man tries to jump off to a bangka. Papan ka dito pagdaungan. So nung lumagto ni tao, it will apply force going backward, and ang mangyayari is that the man will move forward. So nga nagpalikod, dilimagto ni tao, the person, limagto na it move forward. Ang nangyari is, the reaction is opposite, yung bangka nagpalikod. So nagpasangon ni tao, nagpalikod met ni bangka. Kita-kita nga sound dito, law of interaction. That's it. Hope you learned something about the three laws of motion, and watch out for the next lesson for next week. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video.